Hi y'all, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a trade recap, but by the way, I ended up closing today's trade with a clean W1 to 2 trade. As you can see here, I have a new indicator which I'm using, Sugar Rate Break Retest Conviction by Jay. And we had the break, we had the retest, went to the 1 minute time frame for entry, and as you can see there, we had a clean 1 to 2 risk reward. So if you guys are looking for the indicator, go to the Discord channel and get the indicator for free, because I also show you guys my trades for free. So I don't know why I need payment from you guys. Yeah, so funny enough, this is actually gonna be the first week that we've had 0 losses since I started with this account. So let's go to calendar. And as you can see here, this is the first week we've had 0 losses at. And in this month alone, we're already up $157. Last month, I was trading breakout, and you can see the history. But when I started trading the BRC, you can see we had 0 losses this week, and we had having wins every single week. So yeah, that will be basically it. And I'll show you guys the recap I've taken from all my trades today. And I'll see you guys on the chart. Peace. All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna be breaking down the trades I took throughout this week. And so before we actually get into that, if you guys don't mind, the indicator that I've been using, you can check the Discord group. And yeah, you're going to get the free indicator. As you can see today, got the break, retest, go to the 1 minute confirmation, and then we had the 1 to 2 risk reward today. So the indicator helps just in case you don't fully understand the strategy, but actually the strategy is very easy and simple. It's just boring. That's all. So I actually did this video before, but I found out that my screen recorder wasn't actually recording. So I'm just going to use FX Replay. All right. So let's check the trade I took on Monday. So this is 9:25. I'm waiting for the next 5-minute candle to close, which is right here. This is 9:30 candle. This is a 9:30 candle. All I'm doing is marking out the high. I'm marking out the low of the candle. Magnet. All right. And then I'm dragging it out. That's all I'm doing. Let's see if we can get the midpoint right there. So I'm marking out the high, I'm marking out the low. I'm still on the 5-minute time frame. All I'm waiting for is a 5-minute break and a 5-minute retest. If we get way too close into this midpoint, then I have to wait for a new break. That's how the strategy works. So right there, we have the break. I won't really call this a 5-minute break because it's not that clear. Now we do have a 5-minute break. Now I'm waiting for a 5-minute retest. Now we have a 5-minute retest. All I'm doing now is going to the 1-minute time frame. Remember, if we tap into this midpoint, then I'm looking for a new break and retest. Now we tap into this midpoint. Now I'm going back to my 5-minute time frame to wait for a new break and retest. Now I'm waiting for it. Now we have a break, 5-minute candle closure break, 5-minute retest. Going back to the 1-minute time frame to look for our confirmations. That's the conviction. Already had the break, retest, and then go to the 1-minute time frame for the conviction. So I'm waiting on the 1-minute time frame. Nope. Notice how even if we close as a body very strongly here, we didn't break below this level, this range. I'm waiting for a clean 1-minute red candle to the downside to close as a body, and then I take a sell trade. Now this is where I take my sell trade. So I'm going to put my entry right here, and then my stop loss is going to be right here at the retest, and all I'm doing is targeting a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So let's say I actually do enter this trade for real. I'm just taking my sell trade right there, stop loss at this high, at the retest, not just at any random high, at the retest, and then your TP to your 1 to 2. Remember, this is a very mechanical strategy. So wherever you entered, even if your entry was right here, let's say I had a late entry right here. Let us imagine I had the entry right here. Please put your entry, your tool, this long and short position tool, put it right here so that you actually get the entry. Because if you actually entered right here and then your entry, and you put your entry right here, you're going for a 1 to 2, which is something like this. The strategy's 1 to 2 is right here. But because you had a late entry and then you adjusted your TP to your entry's level, then price is going to hit your TP, the trade's TP, but not your TP, because it's a very mechanical strategy. Don't worry, I'm going to explain the strategy. I'm going to explain or show you guys an example of actually what happened on Tuesday. So remember, entry right there. As soon as this candle closes, and if we watch out, let's fast forward this. That was a 1 to 2 banger trade right there. Now let's go to Tuesday and let's see the trade I ended up taking. So 5-minute candle opens right there. All I'm doing is marking out the high and the low of this candle, and I'm extending it to 12 p.m. because my trading window is from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. If I don't see any trades from there, I just call it a day. Now we have the high and we have the low, and we also have our midpoint. All I'm waiting for is a 5-minute break and retest, right? Now we don't have a break. We had a break, but we didn't close as a body below this range. So I'm checking, looking, waiting. Now we have a break, a clean bullish candle break, 5-minute closure above the range. Now I'm waiting for a retest. There we go. Now we have the 5-minute retest. After this, I am going to the 1-minute time frame. You guys remember that I'm going to the 1-minute time frame. If this candle was a good up close candle, I can also take this trade. But since we don't have it, I'm going to wait for an up close candle on the 1-minute time frame. This is where we enter a trade, because this is our conviction. We take a long position right there, stop loss at this low, and then you target a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Now, before I actually show you guys what happened, let me go to the Discord and actually show you guys what happened. So as you can see here, I already sent the screenshot to the Discord. I'm already live, by the way. I'm already live on Discord, but I sent a screenshot of the trades I take. So I'm already showing them that, yo, I'm already taking the buy trade. You feel me? So if you notice, this is where my entry is supposed to be. But look at where I put the long position tool. The long position tool is right here, but this is where the entry is supposed to be. So, and if you also notice, I had a late entry too, because my entry was right here, but my tool is actually supposed to be on top of this candle close. Like I said, it's a very mechanical strategy. So don't say because you had the entry right here, you're going to put your tool right here. Because on this strategy right now, which you can see right now, your target 2 is going to be right here on this strategy. But because you had a late entry, let's say you had a late entry right here, if you go for a 1 to 2 risk reward, your entry is going to be somewhere right here. Your strategy's take profit is right here, but because you wanted to adjust your TP to your entry, you ended up having a late TP right here. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about though, but I really hope you guys do. So don't adjust your take profit because of how you entered. So right here, let's say I enter buy, stop loss right there, take profit 1 to 2 risk reward. Now let's fast forward this, and as you can see, this trade hit TP for sure. But what did I do here? Because my tool entry wasn't actually exactly where the strategist entry is supposed to be at, ended up having a higher take profit, which if I actually just stuck to it, the 1 to 2 would have gotten hit and I wouldn't have gotten edged right there. So if you go here, you can see I already said it, got stopped at a break even. It's actually my fault. I adjusted my TP to fit my entry. So when price started retracing, I was like, man, I actually got edged one more time. So I put my stop loss at break even right there, and that's where I got stopped out. So if I had just stuck to the mechanism of this strategy, putting your entry exactly where you are supposed to enter, forget about how late you entered. I really hope I'm making sense. I don't know. I really hope I'm making sense though. But yeah, that would have been a clean trade, but I ended up closing for a $1.8 win because I got stopped at a break even. Wednesday, there was no trade, and I'll show you why I didn't trade on Wednesday. There we go. So this is Wednesday. Remember, mark out the high, mark out the low, and then fast drag it out till 12 p.m. Just showing you the window we trade in. Nice. And what I'm ready for is a break above or below on the 5-minute time frame with a closure above or below. Right here, no closure, no break, no break, no break. Now we do have a break. I know people who trade the ORB strategy, which is the opening range breakout. Some people use the 5-minute opening range breakout. Some people use a 15-minute opening range breakout. Most people have entered right there, and price just went all the way to the upside. So reason why we had no entry because we didn't have any 5-minute retest. Yeah, but most people who took this ORB or opening range breakout would have most likely had a very, very, very good trade, which you can see prices ended up going all the way to the upside. And yeah, so we didn't have the 5-minute retest. That's why I was able to enter the trade. But if we actually extend this range, we're going to see that price actually ended up tapping into this level and then had a huge spike to the upside. Price also tapped it again and had a huge spike to the upside. And price also tapped it again and had a huge spike to the upside. So just showing you that like this range is actually really valid. It's just that we didn't have the retest when it was in our zone, which is from 9:30 to 12 p.m. right there. So, oh, I went way too far. But anyways, but mark out the 9:30 candle high and low, 9:30 candle high and low, drag it out to 12 p.m., which is right there. Now we do have the 5-minute break, and now we have the 5-minute retest. Going to the 1-minute time frame is all I'm doing, and I'm waiting for an up close candle. That is all I'm doing because I'm looking for a trade to the upside. Now I'm looking for an up close candle. If you have a break and retest on the 5-minute time frame to the downside, I'm looking for a down closed candle to the downside. I don't know. It doesn't get harder than that. I don't know. So waiting for it. Now, remember the rule. When we enter the midpoint, we look for a new break and retest. So now that we've passed the midpoint, I'm going back to the 5-minute time frame and I'm waiting for a new break and retest. Now we have a break. We had the retest again, but we entered the deep, way too deep, tapping to the midpoint. Now I'm waiting for a new break. So you're going to keep waiting for breaks until price retest and doesn't tap into the midpoint. Now we have a break. Now we have a retest. We didn't go deeply into the midpoint. So I'm going to the 1-minute time frame. And then 1-minute speed. Now we have an up close candle here. But notice we did not close above the range. So I'm not going to enter this trade. I'm only going to enter this trade only if we have an up close candle break above the range. There we go. This is going to be my trade. I'm going to take my buy trade right there. Stop loss is going to be at this low. Not any random low, at the retest. And then I'm going to target a 1 to 2 risk reward. Remember, we have to be very mechanical when trading this strategy. So TP right there. Stop loss right there. And then let the trade run. That's all you're doing. I actually almost got stopped out on this strategy, which you can see right there. Ended up having another retracement, but still, we had a huge trade right there. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah. This was a trade I took on Thursday. No trades on Wednesday. This was a trade I ended up taking on Tuesday, something like that. And then Monday, clean 1 to 2 trade again, which y'all can see right there. I'm going to just break down the day trade I took on Friday. So again, I'm going to keep saying it all over and over and over again until you guys understand. Okay, on Friday, all I'm doing is staying on the 5-minute time frame, mark out the high and low of the 9:30 candle open, wait for a break and retest. Skip all this because we already know why we didn't look for a break and retest. We were tapping into the midpoint. But here, we had a break, 5-minute candle break, 5-minute retest. All I'm doing is going to the 1-minute time frame to look for my entries. And right there, you can see we have an up close candle. Take my buy right there, stop loss right there. And then I'm going for a 1 to 2 risk reward. As you can see, the TP got hit. Bro, I don't think I need to explain any more further or any further for this strategy. You basically just break, retest, 1-minute conviction, take your buy or take your sell. So I'm going to show you guys the trades I took today. And yeah, so these are the clips. So after a long wait, we have finally had the break. Yeah, so as you can see from the indicator here, we had the first break, we retested, but we entered the midpoint. we weren't able to see a good confirmation to the downside. On the 1 minute time frame here, we didn't break below as a body cleanly, so I didn't take the sell trade. And now we have a new break here. All I'm waiting for now is a retest. We have the retest. As you can see on the 5 minute time frame, the indicator is already telling us that we have a break. So all I need right now is a retest, and then look for a trade back up. If you guys may be wondering, like, what am I doing? Like, what have I been doing? Have I been looking at the charts 247? No, I haven't been looking at the chart 247. I've been watching anime and YouTube. You feel me? Yeah, so like I said, all right, so that's the retest. So like I said, it's a very boring strategy. You just gotta wait. You feel me? But it's very easy too at the same time. Okay, if this kind of closes, we're taking the buy. 3, 2, 1. I'm buying. So just let this trade run and let's see what happens. Oh, nice. That was it. That was it for, this week. So crazy enough, it's actually the best week I've had this month. As you can see, we're up 31% on this account. And in this month in total, we're up 85%. This is actually the best month I've had on this trading account. And as you can see, it's a real life account. It's synced to my MT5. But yeah, that'll be it. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.